Wake up, gamers, cause you're listening to Big Think Dimension with KZ Excellent,
I have to go to the bathroom.
Dan and Bob Video Games,
You see that mountain? You can fuck another man on that mountain.
and Mr. Feel
Do the research. Google Time Cube now.
here on GigaBoots.
Bob,
What's up?
as you know, I've been struggling to dupe Voxandra from twitch.tv/Voxandra into going to the fucking Wendy's breakfast with me.
Yeah.
She's what one might describe as some sort of coward who wants to go to sleep before 6:30 a.m.
You can get it when you wake up. You don't
Oh,
have
that's
to...
not gonna happen. That's
Oh,
they stopped serving that at like 10:30. So it was this in between of I couldn't get her to stay up late enough and I couldn't get her to wake up early enough. It was a real situation. But Bob, I see that you have in fact consumed the Wendy's breakfast menu.
I have.
Thank you for taking this bullet, my friend.
I stopped there on my way to work. I was 10 minutes late, but that's fine.
What did
I got to try the Wendy's breakfast menu. That's what really matters, right?
As a big Wendy's fan, I'm sure you loved it.
is it the junior bacon cheeseburger of breakfasts?
It's actually okay.
Bob, I'm looking at the sandwich image you tweeted.
Yeah.
It looks like they put 2 slices of bread around nothing but mayonnaise. What is that supposed to be?
That's actually, it's a croissant sandwich with with sausage,
I gotta look at this. I'm looking at it now.
egg, and Swiss
What?
cheese. That Swiss cheese just melted like crazy.
Oh, okay.
So I was worried when I looked at
Okay.
that too. It looks bad, but
It looks real bad.
But
Oh my god, it looks dire.
That's rough, man.
the worst part is honestly the croissant is just kind of bland. Like it's what you expect from a fast food croissant, just sort of a soft bun.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How come this croissant's 1 layer?
Yeah.
but the sausage is pretty good, and so is the egg. Egg seemed like it was just literally an egg they fried.
I
not
can't
some
see either of those
goo.
items in that picture, but all right, sure. They were in there.
Bob, I'm losing my fucking mind. Does that say breakfast baconator?
Yes, it does. I didn't get that. I wasn't brave enough.
Stop your heart before it starts. The new breakfast baconator from Wendy's.
Yeah. No,
Next week on Big Think, Dan will tell us all about the breakfast baconing.
And his trip to the hospital.
A double feature.
Hey guys, back at it again in the local hospital.
Good Lord.
You lift yourself slightly out of a wheelchair and sit back down instead of doing a backflip.
Very impressed.
that Swiss being melted all over, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But yeah, it was fine. It was about as good as the Sonic's breakfast is, which is good. Like the best thing on their menu, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I've had Sonic's breakfast and yeah, it was pretty okay. I was going to ask about these tater wedges.
Those-
What do they call those?
I don't know what they called them. I wasn't even looking. I think it was just seasoned potatoes or something.
You're like, I would like this, and you pull up, and they're like, eat this, and they stick it in your bag, and you're like, what?
Um,
Okay,
yeah, I was just
seasoned
like-
potatoes, sure.
they're clearly potato wedges.
Yeah,
Those should replace the fries.
that's why I'm asking.
Those are way better than any Wendy's fry has ever been.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I'm just glancing at it, and it's like, that has to be better. I can't imagine it being
The only
worse.
thing you shouldn't replace Wendy's fries with is nothing, and even then, that's a question.
Dude, that was...
right.
That's a debatable.
No, I came to that conclusion a long time ago. I was like, wait, the worst part of any fast food is the fries. What the fuck am I doing? Like, if I'm that fucking hungry, if I'm truly that hungry, just get another really small sandwich. And honestly, a lot of the time, you might end up being better calories-wise. And at least it won't all have been potato and oil. Like, fuck Wendy's fries.
Yeah,
Those things look good, though.
they're pretty good. They have a lot more potato-y taste.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And they,
A lot less salt.
I mean, there's still salt and pepper, but it's like you get a bigger chunk of potato, and it feels like it's all part of one
Yeah,
thing.
but Wendy's fries feels like they dump a whole jar of salt
Yes.
into a medium fry box.
A medium fry, 1 fry. The rest of them got nothing.
It's like either you get something intensely salted or no seasoning at all.
Yes.
That's what I got last time I ordered them, and I don't think I've ordered them since.
Blue.
So yeah, these are definitely preferable. It looks like they've been encrusted with the seasoning sometime at the factory instead of at the location.
That way they can't fuck it up.
Right. Anything to help that. But yeah,
Are they
overall pretty
better
positive
or
on it.
worse than KFC's potato wedges?
It looks better.
When you get the potato wedges and they're really good at KFC, like where they're fresh and nice, they're not quite as good as that. But they're definitely better than when you get them or the potato wedges that are cold and been sitting out too long. So it's a weird in-between ground.
Okay, but you're interested in coming back.
Yeah, I'd go back. I'd try some more stuff. I wanted to try their Frosty Chino. I think that's what they call it.
Are we teleporting into Jack and Jill?
Yeah, no, that has some real Dunkachino energy.
This is exciting.
Did they get Al Pacino for theirs?
I don't think so.
That's tragic. That man's dignity is too solid right now. We need to eviscerate it and make it ethereal like before. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, it's not actually ice cream. It's just like the powdered Frosty mix mixed into coffee.
Great. Awesome. You know what? Just skip that coffee step. Give me the powder. Just give it to me. I'll stick it in my root beer.
But yeah, I was going on my way to work, so I didn't want to make myself ill. So I didn't get that.
I did make a joke with Bob. I was like, you're gonna try this Wendy's breakfast stuff and just shit your pants at your job. It's gonna hit you so hard. They will have critically not made food correctly for healthy consumption, and you're just gonna shake your pants.
No, I made sure to stop at the Niceville Wendy's, not the Fort Walton Beach Wendy's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. If you want to get some food poisoning.
Yeah, that place smells like food poisoning.
That's great.
I mean, I ordered that maple sandwich from there months ago when they were doing that one, and it was just a cold bun.
Yeah.
not warmed up at all.
As it turns out, literally forgetting to cook food can cause food poisoning.
Yes. Luckily, that was just bread.
Well, as far as you know, it might have had some ingredient that needs any amount of heat.
Maybe. But I'm fine, so whatever.
I survived. I'm strong.
But that's probably enough about Wendy's breakfast menu.
I'm gonna check this out at 100% before next big thing. So please look forward to my opinion. Maybe Bob and I are gonna switch places. Maybe he's gonna be okay with their breakfast, and I'm gonna say it's terrible.
Maybe you should all have breakfast at Wendy's for 7 days in a row and then see what the results of that hold.
Okay, so
Diabetes.
Yeah, right?
One, I would absolutely do that, but only if two, I could get a local video man to film me as I just try to be the movie Super Size Me. Where I'm just like, I went to Wendy's breakfast 7 days in a row, I'm dying.
They kept asking me if I wanted to make it a biggie, and I always had to say
And
yes.
I had to say, yes, and now my penis doesn't work.
My eyeball fell out.
My eyeball fell out. My dick don't work and all my tweets are bad.
Time to go stream Donkey Kong 64.
It's the only way I can afford my insulin.
No, it's okay. Tosh will put you on a vegan diet and you'll get better.
Oh, it's true. Toach will put me on a vegan diet and I'll magically get better within a single week. Ignore the fact we're going to drop that 2 weeks after the documentary ends. And I'm going to break up with her.
And then you're going to become a sexual predator just like Morgan Spurlock did.
Allegedly.
Let's talk about video.
No, not allegedly. He wrote a blog post saying, I am a sexual predator.
What the fuck is wrong with that man? Anyways, hey, who wants to talk about video games? I got video games to talk about.
Okay.
You should talk about them.
Okay, so our L-Tech Stepmania Dance Pad, which is a DDR pad for those who don't know what Stepmania is, came in today. I was shocked because we also got some other mythical beast just yesterday. So it was a weird 2 days here at GigaBoots HQ. But I'm going to talk about this before talking about what the thing that showed up yesterday was. This is a steel-made, like proper plexiglass, really nice dance pad. It's a little bit less tall than I was expecting, but it's pretty solid. Like, using it so far, it seems pretty good. Of course, I'm going to put the fucker through its paces because just today, I don't know, I played like 10, 12 songs. I played a lot. We have 1,600 songs in our collection. A lot of it is anime openings. KZ, name a raw anime opening.
Colors.
It's on there.
You really have you have it going.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
You have Jiboon. Whoa, what else do you need?
We also have like some of the stuff you wouldn't expect, like mindless self-indulgence, some normal DDR songs. It's a good mix. So far it's been super functional, really great, and since it's not as tall as I thought, it can slip under the couch, which is convenient as hell because it's kind of the size of a DDR arcade machine for one person without the bar, because I don't use the bar. Yeah, no, but yeah, it's a. I'm hitting this mark button a billion times. Something about seeing Casey go, yes, stepping out for a couple minutes fucking killed me just now.
I'll be back in 2 minutes. Just keep going.
It's fine.
I gotta poop really bad.
I appreciate KZ muting. I'm wondering if he's going to edit any of this out. Anyway.
No.
But yeah, it's fantastic. Stepmania is really great because there are online databases now where you can easily find songs you're looking for. They'll be a part of song packs, and you can just download those and check that out. The community comes together to make steps, which means it has the OSU problem of maybe they made the notes on beat, maybe they're fucking tone deaf and rhythm blind, so they're slightly offbeat. But it's worth the price. It's worth paying the price of the occasional song just being offbeat like unintentionally, because I got the Lunar Silver Star Story song, and that's important. That's a powerful fucking theme. And we got a ton of stuff like that. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying it. I'm not sure how it's going to hold up.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at you play it.
It flexes.
I saw it like flexing.
Yeah, it flexes a bit. Absolutely. It absolutely does. But here's the thing. The next grade up from that. So that thing, as I've referenced before, that thing was more expensive than I thought. So our stream goal raised a decent chunk under the amount of money for it because I underestimated a couple aspects of it. Let me see how much that ended up costing. Yeah, it was about $325-ish. Yeah,
it's not so bad.
It's not terrible.
For a big thing.
Yeah, and it's like for someone who's really into DDR, the plastic mat shit just doesn't work. Like, that stuff's so bad.
It doesn't. I was really into DDR when I was like in high school, but I never had the money for the metal pad because it's $300. So I got both plastic ones, and both types are bad.
Yes, both of those are really bad. I was huge into DDR back then too. The next step up from this in quality costs $1,400. So I'm really hopeful that this lasts a decent amount of time, because I don't have space for that. So I hope this thing at least lasts all of 2020. Because if it doesn't last till the end of this year, I have to start doing the calculations in my head. I'm like, well, it helps me stay skinny, blah, 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 blah. Also, I'd like to note, the last time I was skinny was when I was really into DDR. Coincidence?
Dan, I'm not gonna... Dan, there has to be a Planet Fitness somewhere nearby.
Yeah, they're not gonna blare the theme song from Lunar Silver Star Story at fucking Planet Fitness, dude. Jesus Christ.
That's why your phone has headphones, Dan.
What? No, that's so I can put AirPods in and wander into traffic. Look, I'm not gonna go to a legitimate gym that legitimizes gyms. I'm not doing it. I am going to lose weight and get fitter playing rhythm games and fucking Ring Fit, because that shit's fun as hell. And also located here, so I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, your car is pretty dire.
And also, well, actually, honestly, it's less dire than it sounds like, which is constantly surprising. Like, is today the day? No, in fact, it had no problems driving anywhere. It just sounds like it should.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really like gyms. I don't really like gyms. Not the biggest fan. Paying monthly. Not sure about that. The other thing that showed up, yesterday, the elusive Game Boy Advance consoleizer finally showed up, which is where somebody takes a Game Boy Advance, the original hardware, straps an FPGA to it so it can output HDMI, and then puts a SNES controller port on it. So that shit's just a GBA in a box that outputs HDMI. I haven't had time to check it out yet. We've been really busy with Vox and other company coming down over the last week. And the wedding coming up. Let's see who pays attention. I'm not going to say whose wedding. We're going to see who pays attention. So I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm literally going to do that right after I record this. Aside from that, games-wise, just the stuff we've been streaming. We did that Mega Man Maker live stream the other day with Vox and Spaceman Spiff. We did Ease 1 and 2 on the Turbo graphics on Friday, and then that shit its pants. So then we did the PC version where Sarlene showed up, which is really cool. Sarlene helped bring those games out in the States via translation and Steam support and stuff. So that's really great. Also improving widescreen support and a billion other things, but it's too much to get into. But that's all I've played. Bob, what have you played?
We hooked up the VR the other day.
Oh, that's right. I was not thinking about the bachelor's party.
That was like the only time I had a chance to play games this last week. So
we have VR opinions.
Yeah.
Incredibly important VR opinions. I'm glad we can express them here on this podcast.
I got to play Gungrave VR.
That's not important. He got to feed Saber tacos.
Yes!
Saber from Fate. That's important.
Yes, it was important. I am constantly impressed by how solid the PlayStation VR is.
Oh, yeah.
The screen quality isn't great, but it tracks your head really well. And and
I would rather deal with how it looks than the first Oculus, because that screen door effect was really unsettling.
Right.
Just seeing that floating in real space, it's kind of weird.
But yeah, we played this Fate game.
Yeah.
Where
you feed Saber tacos.
You feed Saber tacos. That's one of the 3 quests you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Eric who ended up playing that one.
Literally everyone played that demo experience thing because it was free.
Right.
So if you have PlayStation VR, just look up the Fate game. It is quite the ride.
Yeah, it lets you play all the way through 3 different little scenarios with Smash, one of the new characters from Fate Grand Order.
Uh-huh.
And then you unlock Saber from the original Fate Stay Night.
Yes. And before anyone in the comments is like, fucking nerds, that's your bachelor party? I was forbidden from taking the person whose bachelor party it was to a titty bar, so don't fucking shit on me. Anyways, continue, Bob.
So yeah, one of the activities you do get to do with Saber is literally this. You sit next to her and you feed her different food items. So there's just this table of foods.
Mm-hmm.
And every time she finishes one, she's like, "Oh, master, you want me to have this too? Thank you." You get to hand it to her, and then she does the most unconvincing eating I've ever seen. Where
it was so fucking hilarious.
She's vaguely putting it near her head, and then pieces of it are disappearing.
Because, in a normal video game, they lock down the camera so you can't see the distance.
Right. Here you're right next to her. You're just sitting there staring at her.
She's just like,
But this has to be just a joke. Like, tacos, like, this table has macaroons, other, like, fancy things.
And then tacos.
Yeah, then tacos are just sitting there.
Because they were afraid of doing chicken tendies.
Yeah, no, it's sad they weren't chicken tenders. I don't understand.
It's a little disappointing, yeah. I feel like it was really fucked up that you fed her half the menu of Taco Bell. You're like, now you're going to eat the Nacho Bel Grande. And she's like, I just ate a Nacho Supreme. And you're like, I don't care. We're going alphabetical.
The big nacho box.
You give Saber the nacho trough. She's like, Master, I'm not.
If that showed up in that cooking anime for Fate, then I would have been completely normal, and she would have been sitting there eating the whole episode, and no one would have batted an eye.
I think that's more of a character arc over a whole season sort of thing. She's just always working through it.
What? That's the eye catch. Like in between, halfway into each episode, just more of it's gone.
Just playing dramatic music and a shot of a half-eaten fucking nacho trough.
But yeah, you feed her tacos, and then she fights the dragon.
It's true. And this is something I need to convey to our audience, and it is exactly as bad as I say it, is when you're in the VR, it looks fucking cool as shit and dope. When you're outside the VR looking at the TV, you're watching some idiot with a VR headset on be really impressed by an outdated looking PS2 game.
Yeah.
Where the animations all look super rough and the frame rate's weird and none of the textures look good. But inside you're like, holy shit, I'm in Gran Turismo! I'm losing my mind! And people outside are like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. We also played Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's really impressive.
It's so nice to be able to like drive and then literally look behind you to look what's in the, or like lose the rearview mirrors, or literally look behind you and see what cars are approaching and stuff like that.
Yeah. The sad thing is they put it in a nerfed mode because they can't deal with the VR and the full amount of cars you expect in Gran Turismo. So it's like, it's the funniest shit in the world because it's a normal sized course, but there are only two other cars.
No, it's just two cars. It's you and the opponent.
Okay, so there's only one other car.
Yeah.
It's just like this full size fucking course, and you're like, oh hey, it's you again. Hi. Okay, bye. But yeah, it looks really impressive when you have the fucking VR headset on, which is dope because that thing's on Black Friday. It's like only $200, which I know I just said only $200, but that shit's incredible.
I really want to see them do a Gran Turismo 7 and have full VR because I feel like PS5 has to be able to do that. Like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that might be the goal.
I feel like that should be possible given that, like, this is relevant to news, but I didn't write it down. It was just something I'm going to bring up, so it works here. The people over at Polyphony Digital said they're going to prioritize higher frame rate modes next gen instead of higher resolutions.
Good.
Like, they're going to work on 120 frames per second Gran Turismo, and I'm like, holy shit, yes. That's fucking dope. So yeah, doing a VR mode should be a little bit easier if that's their high end, you know?
Right.
If that's their TV experience.
I still had a little bit of the problem I did with the truck simulator game we played with
American Truck Simulator with Jim Ratgazer.
Yes.
Which is a great Let's Play. Go watch it, please, because Eric and Jim get locked in a... They're on a delivery with Bob video games. Maybe they don't get along so well. It's really good.
But yeah, in that
this could be a movie.
That'd be funny.
I hit the brakes. I'm very much immersed, so I feel somewhat ill when I don't feel the stopping.
Okay, Bob. That is a real thing. Now imagine some drunk asshole comes up to you playing it in VR and shakes your chair. Not once, but twice.
Yeah, no. Eric doing that was awful. What if I called him out? Oh no.
Yeah, no, I kept it big for a reason, Bob, and then you're like, Eric is the criminal. Kill the criminal.
There's a reason they banned that sort of thing at events.
I'm gonna shake Bob's chair. It'll be hilarious.
Luckily, it wasn't me.
I hope he listens.
I'm pretty sure he listens.
Hello.
But yeah, it wasn't Bob. It was me. I was like, because yeah, as Bob was saying in the American Truck Simulator, see, the reason why it was unsettling is Jim Ratgazer has the full fucking steering wheel and shit, and the head tracker device. So even though it's on a TV, you feel like it's VR, and you can feel in your hands and on your feet how a car feels. So no shit, if you go watch the American Truck Simulator Let's Play, I don't remember which part, I'm driving for a second and I go to hit brake and my stomach lurches because I didn't feel the G's of stopping a car. I didn't feel that force. So Gran Turismo isn't VR. It's on a controller, and the controller's the only thing saving me, I feel. You know?
Right.
Because the controller is not a steering wheel and it's not pedals, so it removed a little bit of that immersion. And then Eric comes up completely shit-faced and just starts shaking my chair to fuck with me, and I'm like, oh, yep, gonna puke. Okay. Oh, we're getting better. I can keep driving. It's fine. I survived. And then he does it again, and I'm like, okay, we're just taking this headset off. What I'm trying to say is, hey, did you guys know you can watch VR porn on the PlayStation VR headset?
It was an assumption.
I assumed.
I wasn't sure. I forgot that they added VR video playback to the PS4 as a feature years ago. Because when they first did that, I was
They
like,
want people to buy it.
I was like, haha, VR porn, I get it. And then I forgot. And then for this fucking
Then
bachelor's
you went,
party.
haha, VR porn, I get it.
No, actually, I'm not. I wasn't even trying to do that. I was like, I need to look up slutty fucking PlayStation VR games for this dumbass bachelor's party full of Gundam Wing SNES game and fucking VR titty games. And then I try to look it up, and this website's like, hey, you know you can just play porn, right? You could do that. That's a thing you could do. I'm like, oh,
What?
right. Yeah, I guess I could, huh?
No, this is so much less complicated.
What if the tits were real? And I'm like, what? What?
Bro.
Bro, I'm going to need you to slow down.
You're thinking fantasy.
Is this Sword Art Online? But yeah, what did you play anything else, Bob? Was it just a bunch of VR?
I feel like it really was. Like we played.
It's been-
I played a little bit of that Gundam game and a little bit of Power
then-
Rangers, but nothing else that I actually spent a decent amount of time with.
Yeah. Yeah, the Power Rangers game on SNES is the predecessor to the Gundam Wing game on SNES. Both are pretty cool, honestly. And then you play as Ivan Ooze. And you hit a button and it shoots a giant fucking destructive wave at your enemy.
Yeah, that guy's really well balanced.
Oh, yeah. They definitely intended you to play as that asshole.
Too bad he didn't make it
That's to hit him in the
Skullgirls.
balls like in the movie.
Could you imagine if they made a custom animation?
The bad CGI Megazord just knees him in the dick like in the movie.
Yes. But I guess that's all for us. Hey, Phil, what have you been playing?
I played Freedom Planet.
Ooh.
Cool. How's that?
I'm going to try not to beat up on this game because overall I enjoyed it.
Oh,
I just think it has the energy a lot of games like this that's like the first thing a team has, where it's like, you guys spent a long time on the first chunk of this game and didn't really think about how this gameplay scales up difficulty-wise.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So I feel like the last couple levels are really frustrating with just shit coming from everywhere at you from every direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think the bosses are just a tiny bit poorly designed in places. Like the boss that's just 7 Force.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the boss
just
that's
directly
just 7
7
Force
Force.
is fucking delightful. I love every time this game lifted a treasure boss, and how the first boss in the game is from fucking, what's the name of that fucking Genesis game where you're a star?
Restart?
Right, Star.
Rice Star, yeah, that.
Feel.
Yes, feel. Bob, did you know that was the original name of Rystar?
No, what?
Yeah.
I actually used that horrible face from the prototype as my Discord icon for a while.
Yeah, he did.
What if I told you that the bosses that you said were poorly designed were heavily redesigned through patches?
Yeah.
Because I streamed it. People told me as I did it, so I was like fighting the final boss, and he'd hit me with his knife attack from out of view. He'd zip into the screen and stab me faster than I could react. And someone would go, "Yeah, that used to be an instant kill."
Yeah. And yet somehow when our review comes out and just tells them, hey, this is a really bad boss design. You really didn't structure this game in a way where this feels good. You need to redo combat if this is what you care about. Not only does the game get patched to fix that, the next game has a parry button. So like, and somehow these fucking Freedom Planet fans are still butthurt over the fucking review. Like if the guy who makes the game agrees with me, maybe eat a dick.
Yeah, I thought the bosses when I played it were decent. Like even the 7 Force boss, which took me the most tries of anything in the game, it was really just he shouldn't be able to turn into a giant hitbox with no telegraph. Cause he can turn into a buzzsaw whenever the fuck he wants.
Man, it's been a while.
Lucky.
And often he would be like, okay, I go across the top of the screen shooting down, then on the bottom of the screen shooting up, and I don't actually have a hitbox during that, only my bullets do. But sometimes he'll just be like, instead of going across the bottom, I'll just turn into a buzzsaw.
Bob, are you excited when the Mighty Number 9 review finally comes out and then people want us to stream Freedom Planet all the time?
What?
Well, yeah, clearly that's going to be the next review.
That story is I've never.
It's raw.
No, it isn't. I really wanted to be like, oh, it's really cheesy and dumb and furry melodrama. I'm gonna run the bit of liking it because as a bit, and it's like, no. The fact that there's no, you can't. There's just it's Inti creates times 1.5.
Yeah.
You're like a cat, and the story's just a squirt bottle.
It's like when Vegeta is gonna fight semi-perfect Cell and his muscles get all big. If Inti Creates did that, you get Freedom Planet story.
Ooh,
that's correct, and they've actually patched out random elements of the plot that.
Yes, they did. They patched out that thing that you bring up every single time we discuss the game.
Yeah, it's sad. Now people don't know what we're talking about, but we're damaged.
I have to, because the opening of the game is, hey, here's this thing. And then they never deliver on it, and they don't discuss the moral grays involved, and yet they left the fact that it's a thing, but they don't have any arc on it.
Why does the game have a torture scene?
I asked that very same question in my review, and people say because it's like a mature Saturday morning cartoon.
Why is the protagonist butchered, has literal parts of her body amputated off, and then they literally fix it with a magic bat that is played as a joke?
Yep.
I told Vox about how this character doesn't have any deep emotional damage from what happens to her in the torture scene, and she was like, fuck this game. And I'm like, yeah, no, they just did it to be edgy and then dropped it and moved on to a different random tangent.
Yeah.
You see, I expected the torture scene to be the only really edgy thing. I didn't expect the villain, who, by the way, is the worst villain in video game history. The man looks like a thumb.
Yes.
One of the bottom 5 designs in video game villain history.
He's really great. He has such iconic lines as "No," which is the opening to the game.
Ooh.
A shot of some shit happening, barely intelligible what it is. It's just like, I guess that asteroid or a meteor is coming out of the atmosphere and slamming onto the Earth. And then you just see him on a cliff and he goes, "No." And
He's one of the tallest from Invader Zim, but he has Robotnik's mustache as eyebrows.
Yes.
If you don't know what this motherfucker looks like, I just posted a picture of him.
Look at this.
Oh,
Look at this
God,
dude.
I forgot how bad he looked. I didn't remember the eyebrows. Oh.
He's a
He's
really
got
cool
like
guy.
weird classic Mega Man proportions.
Yeah, he has like Sigma's legs. He has X1 Sigma's legs.
But stupid and peach colored.
I don't like his color palette. It's really bad.
Anyway,
really bad.
you forgot to mention, other than the torture scene, there's the scene where I don't really know what he does because it's never really addressed. He like infects the little girl character with evil juice, and she turns into a big monster, and you have to smash her face open and see her brain.
Yep.
I don't remember this. What?
Yeah, it's like the second to last boss.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I
Which
guess you
is
should play it again.
which is why there isn't a story mode for Mila, if I remember correctly, unless they added it since
There
I
is
played.
a story mode for Mila. There is
Oh,
a story mode for Mila.
Oh, that's great. They didn't have that at launch. I'm so excited.
I enjoy how I guess at some point they went, guys, we overpromised on this Kickstarter. We're not putting in the last two characters.
So I can't talk about it, but Bob and I may have possibly played one of those two things they're not releasing a billion years ago.
I know that one of them was in beta because people told me that the character that was supposed to be Gunstar Heroes Man was in beta.
I don't even know who that is, but yeah,
The duck.
I think it's interesting. That wasn't the one we played.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a fucking shame that they didn't finish delivering what they promised for the Kickstarter and then immediately moved on to the second game when they had such a resounding success with the game. I think Steven Dodoro should absolutely go back and finish delivering the stuff, but they working on
they're going to do that according to what people told me during the stream, because all I know is what people told me during the stream. They apparently said once 2 is out, we will add the last two characters.
That seems insane.
One, that doesn't make sense. Two,
it
much.
It doesn't, but a lot of things you're describing sound insane anyway.
I am very upset.
Yeah.
I am very upset that Spade, the edgy shadow-esque panda character voiced by Sean Chiplock, is not playable in this game. And because of that, his story just stops.
Mm-hmm.
There's no resolution to his little story arc.
Yeah.
And then after I beat Freedom Planet, I went and played the Freedom Planet 2 demo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really filled with confidence when the only major change other than the parry button is that they made the graphics worse.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad someone else holds that opinion.
Yeah,
because I wasn't sure if that was a me thing or a them thing.
I guess that so many people made fun of them for looking so much like Sonic, they just went, let's make it look different, and the way they made it look different does not look better.
It's almost like the reverse of what happened to 20XX.
Yeah.
It feels like they also pulled the camera out so it looks like fucking Jazz Jackrabbit, which is not a game anybody should emulate under any circumstances.
I'm just gonna put this link for us playing the demo and a quick play in the fucking thing here, so that way later I can add that to the description.
I also think the UI is worse even.
Okay, so there's a lot going on with that game.
It's nowhere near done, I feel like, for that demo.
Sure.
So hopefully. Of course. I'm not going to say that. You're right.
I played the Freedom.
Bob.
That's why I just realized we did the same thing with the first Freedom Planet demo.
Yeah, we literally said, like, all of these things that we think are fucking obvious to fix, that we even shout out that are fucking obvious to fix in our beta coverage and our feedback we gave personally and privately to the creator of the game, because we were involved in the beta. We're in the special thanks for the first game.
Yep, you're in the special thanks. When that came up on stream, everybody laughed and posted L's.
I don't know. I got views. We didn't pay. Like, I paid money for the final game, but I didn't pay to be in the beta. I didn't back the game. It was just a special thanks because we helped them get feedback. Me and Bob, we constantly just, obviously this is a thing you would fix in the final game, and they fixed literally none of them. We have no idea.
It's like Mighty Number 9.
Yes! That's when we realized, like, if you go watch our coverage of Mighty Number 9, The moment we stop being optimistic about them fixing it in the final game is when we finish playing the final release of Freedom Planet. That is when we learned that lesson of just, maybe they're not going to fix the obvious thing.
Also, who cares about that game, but also Yick did that, where they released a demo 3 years before the game came out. Every single thing in that dungeon they released was bad, and then all of it was still in the final game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, I feel like Steven should go back and finish the DLC. I hope he's being honest when he says that, because it's hard to trust someone who already was supposed to deliver that once. Like, it was a weird decision to make 2 without finishing all the stuff. I know they've already paid for the voice acting and stuff, though, so, for 2.
It's Christian Whitehead is involved in Freedom Planet 2, right?
That's what I've heard to some degree. I think he may just be a consultant.
It says developing. It says developing with Galaxy Trail. So maybe he'll be like, okay, this change this.
Just to be clear,
maybe he'll bring.
I have no inside information.
I feel like the number one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The number one thing would be like, stop trying to be every single Genesis game at once.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's
Pick the real
one
problem.
or 2.
And then have an interesting flavor of your own.
You have these Sonic levels, but then they kind of turn into Sparkster levels. And then the bosses are almost like Alien Soldier-esque.
Yes. They have a giant boner for Rystar, Sparkster, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Alien Soldier.
I like all of those things, but they aren't tastes that taste great together. They have completely different forms of gameplay and controls.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to fight that fucking final boss, which is moves like Sigma, but I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, that is fucking weird. I don't have the precision you seem to think I have.
I mean, when the dive kick is the easiest way to change directions in a game, that's a problem. Like, if I remember correctly, in that game, doing a jump or a double jump and then the dive kick as one of the characters was the easiest way to control your momentum and placement on screen. I believe it was.
I didn't try it. Maybe if I had done that, it would have.
I'm actually having trouble remembering the fucking third character's name, because it was Mila, Lilac, and the third one.
Lilac is the main character. Carol is the cat.
Carol, there we go. Carol, thank you. Yes, Karen.
And Mila is the horrible character with the lasers and the goo blocks that I would never want to play as in 1,000 years.
But she loves sushi too. Did you
also,
not?
Don't remind me of that.
Also, the Karen is the panda cop they added in the second game.
You're right. I think she was a bad guy in the first, though.
But she was kind of. The fucking story is so confused.
Yes, the story is a million different contrived fucking thoughts for what a character is about, and then none of them delivered out properly. It's almost like it was made up as they went. Almost.
I liked it. Maybe if I had beaten it when it first came out, I wouldn't be so positive, because apparently those last couple bosses were fucking nightmarish.
For me, it was just the last one. The last one was just total shit show. Completely.
It's messy. It's a game I like, but it's messy, and I hope that the sequel is more focused on the things they seem to want to do instead of everything. The game fake slowdown, like the Genesis when you beat a boss. Every single boss is like it's like Vector Man or the Clockwork guy from Bloodlines, because that's real cool, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. Every
boss has too much health. Do you like the most effective way to damage the boss being jumping into their hitbox and then using the super dash, because you go around in a circle a little bit and hit them on every frame?
Mm-hmm. It's real good. I like aesthetic stuff about Freedom Planet. I liked some of the design aspects. The animation wasn't done when the game came out, so there were jarring. Like, you would do a thing. Like, for example, I think it was Mila's game over screen. You would hit continue, and she would pop to an MS Paint level of fidelity. Like, it was fucking nuts. I think we showed that clip in the review, but yeah, there's just a lot of aspects at launch that didn't seem finished at all. And yeah, it really is what you're talking about. It's just too many flavors. It's too many fucking flavors. The soup has had 3 types of meat added to it, 7 types of starches, and every spice on the counter. And a really bad plot.
It really needs to like focus. I'm still kind of hopeful for the second game, even if I think they kind of fucked up the aesthetic a little bit. But the other thing I played, since nothing is coming out until the end of March,
yeah,
I decided I'll do something I've been meaning to do for a while, which is beat every Quintet game I haven't beaten.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Which I've beaten most of them. Not most of them, half of them. So I still have Illusion of Gaia, Terra Enigma, and the Grand Stream Saga, and Robo Trek, but that's not important. So I've been playing Illusion of Gaia. That game's weird.
I have played that. I played that a couple of years ago.
It has it's like if they decided to make Link to the Past entirely combat focused.
Yeah.
And also have an insane leveling system where there's no experience. You just get a stat go up when you empty a room of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty unique overall. It has, like, yes, you turn into Freedan, the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And you use the poorly translated attack that is absolutely supposed to be Dark Flyer, but they translate it as Dark Fryer.
Yeah.
Which is just you shoot an energy ball. But that's neat. It's you can definitely feel like the East kind of influenced in it because a bunch of Falcon people left and formed Quintet.
Yeah. I'm interested how you feel when you finish it, because by the end, I was kind of tapped out by the end.
I'm pretty close to the end. I think I'm like less than 2 hours away from the end.
Yeah. I just felt like some of the final areas, I was like, this ain't the best.
They do kind of run out of new stuff.
It's a little too hard. I just remember there being a incredibly tough fight at one point where you have to kill multiple things.
I know the game ends on a boss rush, so maybe that's it.
Yeah, and there was something earlier on too. It's like
there has only been one
that's a little rough.
Only been one dungeon that upset me because it felt like I was trapped in Banjo-Tooie because
you're having too much fun.
Because Will, the main character, has some stuff to get around obstacles. He has a slide that lets him go under gaps, and a dash that lets him go up steep hills, and a flute to let him play certain like progression enabling songs. And Freedan has a projectile that lets him hit faraway switches. And there's just 1 or 2 parts of this dungeon where it's like, go one screen farther as Freedan. Now go back and change to Will. Now go one screen as Will. Now go back and change to Freedan. And it's like, I'd love to drink this water with Freedan alone. I would put it in the category of games of this is great, and if I had played it as a kid, I'd really like it, but I can't recommend a person consciously go back to it. I don't think it's quite at that level.
You got anything, KZ?
No. I've been doing my marathon stuff, but there's been nothing else that I've really played with yet. I haven't done enough of that new Fighters patch to
I played that. I should talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I booted it up for a second and played one match.
As I said, I went, oh no, I just extended the timer.
So I played some of Fighter Season 3. We went over most of the big changes. I don't need to talk about the big system changes. There is one system change, though, that's quite important that we didn't discuss. You can now super dash after a vanish attack. That is huge, because I guarantee that 90% of the people who play that game cannot convert off of vanish the way it was before. Convert being combo convert. I think in all the times we played fighters, the four of us, I think I did it once and Dan did it once. I don't think anybody else ever did it. Because what would happen is, you're not familiar with fighters, you have a vanish attack, you teleport behind them and kick them.
Shoots them to the other side of the screen with a big kick.
But if you do it to them while they're in hit stun for something else, you kick them harder and they bounce off the wall. So the way you could link like tapping somebody with a beam into a full combo is you hit them with the beam, you vanish attack, then you have to dash across the screen and catch them as they come back down with your combo. And it's not super hard, but you have to practice it a lot, especially when you add delay-based netcode on top of that. And apparently Arc System Works agreed that that was a little bit too difficult on delay-based netcode. So just hit R2. Just hit R2 and you fly right to them.
Well, that's neat.
So that's really neat. Also, I played some of Kefla. She seems really strong and neat and is like twice as animated as any of the other characters because you put her next to Super Saiyan Goku and her idle animation has like 15 times as many frames.
She won't stop moving.
Also, that character pass is absolutely only 5 characters because it's only $20 instead of 30.
Yeah.
I was actually stunned it was cheaper. I thought for sure they were just going to fuck me and it was still going to be $30.
I can't believe you fucked me like this, Bandai Namco.
Oh man,
and I'm like, wait, you're not.
Ultra Instinct Goku's gonna be the most animated Goku. Raw.
Yes.
Yes. There's a reason that they gave new assists to everybody, but nobody got a new move.
They gave Captain Ginyu a new level 3, but it's like repurposing a bunch of old moves and animations, so it looks like the most no-money super. Because its finisher is just his opening where they all appear and then the colored smoke pops out.
And it's literally just each person using the thing they'll use when he summons them.
They picked up this super from the Winn-Dixie.
There's not even like a cinematic camera angle change like every other level 3.
Wow. Oh, well, he's getting you. No one will care.
No, it's not true. He got some good buffs. Now his twirl reflects normal projectiles. So you can twirl all the way through a barrage of projectiles and kick someone.
Who wouldn't like Captain Ginyu? He's got a move called Milky Cannon.
You just gave me one reason to not like him.
Oh.
Anyway, I think that's it.
KZ, what you been playing?
As mentioned earlier, I haven't really played anything, which means we could instead talk about the Podlords.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles, Texas Man joins Smash, Rabbit joins Smash, Dank Mormon. Dank Mormons, I think you know what you need to do next week. Red Blaze 27, Keyblade Master Jucifer, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Mitzi, Joe Biden.
Yes!
Like hair.
I'm running for Podlord.
Oh, this is...
If you don't like it, vote for the other Biden.
I would vote for the other Biden right now because holy crap, this fucking profile picture.
Oh shit.
You ever think about this segment and think, I'm going to have to look at that someday?
Really, bro? What?
See, Bob. It says Malar, and then it has the letter key.
Uh-huh.
Really, bro? Malarkey.
Oh my god.
Oh, me and Casey are gonna get some use out of that.
I feel like that should just be your fucking mood on Discord.
The look of bestial hunger in Feel's eyes when he sees Fidget from Duh. And then it didn't finish.
Dust
ran
and
out.
Elysian Tale.
Yeah. The hottest RPG
I
on the
don't
App
know.
Store. 1 second. Let me see what the fuck this is. Zoom. Enhance. Zoom.
Is it gonna be
Enhance.
Raid Shadow Legends?
Zoom. No, this says RPG. Raid Shadow Legends isn't one of those, right? Oh, wait, it is Raid Shadow Legends. Sorry, I couldn't tell. It was very ambiguous.
It's Rail Dow Legend.
Legend. Leggings. This fucking segment.
Man, it's fucked up. Hey, if they're a pod lord, you gotta read the spiel.
Lady Popcorn. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
Windows shutdown sound.
Oh, why? This is so cursed. Why did we? Oh, no! Ah! Ah!
Oh no.
Truly awful, and I regret everything. The only actual unironic Pete Buttigieg stand. This image is straight from hell. It's Gary Busey's face put on Pete Buttigieg.
Only half of his face. The left eye is still Pete.
Yeah, that's
It just looks.
very cursed.
Oh my god.
The left eye sees the future. The right eye sees the poll results it wants.
No, it sees cheese on the other end of the maze.
Both eyes would have taken the pill to not make them gay.
Sega Saturn jewel case liquor mozzarella. Oh, that's quite the flavor. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. Pretty soon you're gonna have to be 101 Shades of GG. WTF, Spider-Man. Just Mukuro. You don't gotta watch out for her this time. And they changed their image, and I really like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with non-cursed funny images. You can do that, you know. I appreciate it. Random KZ noises. What the fuck is this image? What the fuck is this image?
Sucks. Motherfucker's adding 7 minutes onto my fucking edit time this week.
What the fuck am I looking at? Someone help me.
All right, hold on.
That's bacon with banjo eyes.
Wearing some sort of coat, giving a thumbs
I'm
up.
pretty sure that's the main protagonist of Konosuba.
That
Yes.
looks very much like his jacket.
And also
there's
Hold on,
panties
random
on his
KZ
head.
and
noises.
also panties.
That's a lot of things.
What? There you go. That's what.
Renegade and Clout Strife. Thank you very much to our pod lords. Thank you, pod lord.
Thanks, Podlord.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thank you, pod lord. If I were Microsoft this week, I would announce the pod lords again, but I'm not gonna. We got some news that isn't news about the Xbox Series X. Apparently, every leak was correct, so we just compiled them into one press release for Microsoft. We've got, for the Xbox Series X, 12 teraflops of GPU, which at least, you know, here they're specifying its GPU power specifically, so they didn't add the two together and go 12. It's real good. Variable rate shading, which I haven't heard described correctly what that technology is on any podcast. Imagine that.
Oh, we're gonna be special.
Yes. So I kind of described this before. I'll be quick. It allows you to prioritize the shading fidelity, like pixel shading and whatnot, on each object for how important it is. So say if it's in the periphery of your vision where you need to, because you're a AAA developer and you want your game to look real, you put tons of like lens distortion and chromatic aberration. They're not going to fucking notice the shadow resolution. You already fucked it up. So you can save some performance there. They have clarified, just like Sony already clarified, and I swear to God they already clarified once, but here we are, hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, which is called DXR, so it's just going to be the same DXR as you see on PC, which is interesting because, yet again, we need to stress, AMD has no parts on the market that do that yet. So this thing really will be cutting edge for AMD at bare minimum when it comes out. I think I'm looking forward to this. Microsoft makes a point here to say, the ray tracing doesn't just have to be used for lighting. It can be used for audio. Someone said that sounded like bullshit. Motherfucker, you can use ray tracing for AI. You want to fucking talk about audio? You're not sure about audio?
Who knows what it even is, though?
Yeah, most people don't fucking know what ray tracing is. But yeah, imagine you're drawing a line between a point and another point, and you need to trace that ray.
Ooh.
Incredible, I know. Solid state drive storage, we already know that. Quick resume, which is they came out and said the same thing they said before. You can suspend not one, not two, but multiple games on your solid state drive. So if you want to switch games, it can be like bam, instant. That's a really cool feature. I like that. How much space is that going to take up? Are we giving games 50 gigs of our SSD just to suspend? That seems like a lot, because it needs to dump everything in RAM into that space.
Just download more RAM.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. They brought up their dynamic latency input again, where basically, from what I've read from Microsoft and heard from elsewhere, you can make, as a part of your render pipeline, a specific time to pull the controller, is what it sounds like. Which makes sense. It makes sense. It's not the dumbest idea. Like, it keeps it perfectly in sync with the game, the frame rate and everything. So I think that's a good idea. They say it's a good idea. I'm going to trust them on this. Of course, 120 frames per second support. Of course. We didn't bring up 8K again. I feel like they brought up 8K. I swear to God, they brought up 8K.
They did.
But they have 8K.
They did. I just
didn't include it because that's fucking absurd. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
they
then
also had something about like HDMI 2.1 innovation, where they're working with like TVs and lowering the latency through modes and stuff.
Yeah. The Xbox One X actually already supports all the things they listed there, like variable refresh rate, which is basically an open standard version of G-Sync, automatically low latency mode, which is ALLM. That just lets your TV know, hey, I'm a video game. Stop fucking this shit up, which is great because people don't know to fucking... I'm going to tell you a spooky story. I went over to a friend's house and they were playing Bloodborne with the fucking soap opera effect turned on. So that God knows they were dealing with 300 milliseconds of input latency, and that shit looked awful. But I didn't say a word. I just ran. That's the end of spooky Dan stories. And then they have smart delivery. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
If I told you the word smart delivery, if I said that phrase, I was like, hey, my new console, it supports smart delivery. What do you think that means?
Okay, I have two answers to this. One's a joke answer where it's like something to do with getting Amazon delivered or pizza delivered more easily to your house.
Bob, you're correct on that. It's a pizza button. You just hit the pizza button and they bring you a pizza.
But it might be having to do with packet delivery for online modes.
See, both of those, actually, all of those make more sense than what it actually is.
Okay.
This name is bad. In the fact I heard another podcast say, I'm really glad they have a good marketing term for this. Makes me want to slap some people. This is not a good marketing term for what is smart delivery. Smart delivery, Bob, is their way of telling you that third parties can optionally support smart delivery, where if you buy Cyberpunk 2077 on your Xbox One, you will be entitled to the Xbox Series X version of that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we have a term for that. I'm pretty sure it's fucking called cross-buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did have a term for that, but now we have a different term for that, and the different term doesn't even make sense.
Right? I'm like, that makes zero sense.
It's a shit name for it.
But we needed a new term on the off chance people aren't gonna do it.
Yeah, it's really bad.
But yeah, that was in my news. Cyberpunk confirmed. We're not gonna make you pay for anything. Just if you buy the Xbox One version, whenever we make our Series X patch, it'll download. You'll have it.
I feel like both console manufacturers really want to do that.
Yeah, I think they want to. I did have a Gamer Premonitions bonus in there, which was, which company do you think, if any, will be insane enough to try and charge?
The platform holders are going to say, no, you cannot do that. Fuck off.
Microsoft said it's optional. They said it's not mandatory. Third parties can opt in to smart delivery. Bob, are you ready for my...
Microsoft is a brain-dead company.
I'm ready to take my guess. My Gamer Premonition is Square Enix will do that.
Man. Oh, God.
Final Fantasy VII Remake with the next-gen update patch.
I'm of two minds on this, because a while back, I think it was Nomura being interviewed saying, as far as I know, when next-gen consoles come out, you'll be able to just do a patch and it'll be fine. But then I
do remember that
closer to recently, where there apparently the thought of packaging everything together in some sort of Game of the Year edition for next gen. I feel like there's some implication of that happening. So it could go either way with them. It really could. I definitely don't trust them on the business side of stuff.
Oh, weird.
No, I don't either. I'm gonna put on my clown shoes and buy it, but yeah, that's probably gonna happen if they don't get scared by multiple companies getting out before them and saying, "Yeah, it's free."
Atlas will definitely try and do it.
100%.
Although I don't think there are any games that they have to do that with.
Fuck, they're not gonna make a patch. They're gonna make a new game again. They'll just remake the same thing.
They're not going to put anything on PS5 till 2028.
Yeah, but then it'll just be a remake of the old game they had. It will somehow be $80. If you stream it, you'll go to prison.
It's going to be called Persona 5 Scrambled Eggs. Exclusively next-gen version. Still runs
Looks
bad.
just like their fucking brains.
Also, there was one more thing to this Series X thing. They upset me.
Okay.
They want good PR for backwards compatibility, but continue to speak in terms that I would rather them just shut the fuck up.
It's fair.
Because they're going so close to saying, yeah, it plays everything, without saying it, so there's still confusion. I'd rather you be vaguer. Because it's like, it'll play everything with no developer work. And it's like, you phrased that so you could just mean stuff that was already done for Xbox One. You're pushing this more and more into where I feel like now you're going to get bad PR if it isn't everything. You should probably dial this back.
I think it's when they do their press conference, I'm going to assume that's only going to be the stuff they've done. However, that's the only time they're going to say if it does more, because then they'd be like, here's our full support. And they're like, we supported all of these backwards compatibility things for years, and now it expands or something like that.
I hope it's that, because that'll shame Sony into working something out.
That just, in general, that's how I feel they're going to play, because that's been their thing. It's like, we're adding Xbox support, we're expanding upon this. I don't think a press release is gonna be where they talk about a big expansion to it.
Microsoft's just incredibly excited to announce things that have already been announced that are well known, that aren't any better than what the competition has announced, because that's just what we're going to deal with. And people are so fucking brain dead. I already see people being like, where's Sony's response to this? And I'm like, most of this shit is already announced for? Oh my god, I'm so tired.
It might be the worst discourse I've seen of Sony has to respond. They haven't responded to how Xbox is doing things. It's 2006 Part 2. You're gonna fuck it up because they haven't announced things when I want them to.
Yeah, that's literally how this is going. We're gonna move right on though.
They haven't given me my commercial yet.
So apparently, Facebook is now a premier sponsor of the OBS project. So now every time you think OBS, you can think Facebook gaming.
That's what you want, right?
Uh-huh. On paper,
I'm so glad I fucking switched to XSplit. God.
I can think of Mark Zuckerberg getting his armpits air dried before he tries to give a speech.
Why armpits? Why?
Because that's a thing allegedly that happens. It's not something I want to think about though. So we're gonna move right on.
Oh.
Hey KZ, talk about this Square Enix news. The Square Enix confirmed.
Okay. So Square Enix, they were talking to investors, and of course there's the question of next gen comes up, and they said that they are going to mainly be focusing on cross gen because there's backwards compatibility for next gen, so they don't really need to rush to get a next gen thing out. Also, they're already working on next gen things, which probably just means there's going to be a couple years in anyway, so there's no need to actually talk about them. But yeah, they're going to be focusing on cross gen stuff.
Yeah. My tweet about it, very nuanced, incredibly thorough, incredibly insightful. I said boo. Then I had
got really mad, right?
Then I had a bunch of younger people tell me how console generations go. That was really cool. And then I needed to elaborate because people don't understand how this works at this level. So I'll go ahead and read the comment here. Most generations have exclusives early on from first and third party devs to truly push the hardware and advance the art of video games. In the PS3 and 360 generation, most of the modern fucking franchises that are still around were invented then and exclusive to that generations, like Assassin's Creed and shit like that. You know, Watch Dogs was supposed to be the same thing for this last gen, but then it was a cross gen and a nightmare and incredibly disappointing.
Shitted and farted and peeded.
Came out on Wii U.
So when the next generation has CPUs that are 5 to 6 times as powerful in them, and we can finally get games that not only run better, but games that have bigger scales and more interesting physics stuff and like huge simulation abilities, and we're just doing cross-gen games with that has to run on a system whose CPU came out in 2013 and was incredibly underwhelming then, that is limiting. So when I hear a whole publisher say for a while they're not going to have any next-gen exclusives, that is disappointing to me. One, yes, I understand for them it makes business sense because the platform is the largest if they do cross-gen, so stop tweeting that at me, you fucking child. No one's talking about what makes business sense for them.
The first couple years, all the games are bad.
It makes business sense for games to be $120 each, but I'm still going to fucking not buy them.
Right, like fucking. So that's the thing. I also receive people telling me this happens every gen, and I'm like, no, that there are tons of games from tons of different publishers in the PS3 and 360 gen, and eventually like the PS4 gen, but that was an anomaly, and I'll get to that in a second, that push the state of the art on the next gen consoles, you know, like Ninja Gaiden 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, Armored Core 4, Assassin's Creed, Mirror's Edge, you know, they're BioShock for fuck's sake, Chrome Hounds, Dead Rising. These are all games early on that push next gen hardware, and it's important to justify why exactly you want to upgrade. You want to see something that couldn't run on your last system that looks a little bit better and looks a little bit prettier. You know, you want that because that makes it feel rewarding when you buy that console, and it means we're moving on to something you haven't experienced before, which I would like to think is the reason you buy things, to experience something new.
You're just being classist.
No, not really. This is about the state of an entire industry.
Hmm.
The funniest tweet I got in reply to that.
But yeah, they're clearly working on next gen titles. Like they've talked about them.
They have
they're
to
hedging
exist.
their bets,
Studios
which
making
still
a next gen title.
Yeah, they have to exist, but the phrasing makes me a little pessimistic. I'm hopeful it won't take over 2 years. I hope it's like first year or two, but who knows? We'll see.
When did games start coming out this gen? It feels like 2015.
So that's the thing. This is why this gen was an anomaly. People literally thought at the beginning of the PS4 generation that consoles were dead. Like, they thought no one was going to buy a PS4, no one was going to buy an Xbox One. Phone gaming and PC gaming were the future. People legitimately thought this. Analysts, journalists, fucking everyone said this shit, and I slap my forehead every time because, no, just talk to normal fucking people every once in a while, and you would fucking know that people still want fucking consoles. So, yeah. Because no one wanted to invest in next-gen exclusive games, thus why Watch Dogs at the last fucking second went cross-gen, you would know that people want consoles. So this is different from last-gen because there is no concern this time in that way. The only concern this time is how much are these consoles going to cost, and we don't know yet. The funniest tweet, I really do want to read the funniest tweet and reply because it was fucking outrageous.
All right.
What are you talking about? There's no reason for next gen. The Xbox One X has so much untapped potential.
No.
It's like, oh, it can.
This is that thing where it's like when you were really young, you would read like articles, or maybe you saw something on the internet that said, and then later in the PS2 generation, they really figured out how to put the horsepower to good use and make good looking games. And assume that that's the reality for every console for every generation going forward, is that 8 years in, they really found out how to make use of this shit.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
It's usually the reverse. Games get worse, perform worse and worse as the generation goes on because there's an expectation to make them look better.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. This time, they made the games look great. Like, nobody can look at Final Fantasy VII Remake and say that doesn't look fucking amazing. Like, that shit looks incredible.
It looks stupid. Just the amount of detail.
Right. And the thing is, it looks that amazing because of various constrictions they've had to deal with and they've gotten good at dealing with. So there are things that game could have done next gen. I'm not saying it should be next gen, but there are things it could have done next gen. There's a scale it could have had next gen. There's redundancy of data it didn't need to have on an SSD next gen. That you're going to have to deal with all these things. And that's just how that works. So, there are things you can't do on a PS4. Shocking. I know.
It's not like we've had 5 years of
games not running well.
Right, games not running well and the limitations being very apparent.
Yeah, no, we haven't had that at all. I love trying to get a platinum in Kingdom Hearts 3. What's that? I need one of each ingredient from the flans.
That fuck that orange. You want to spend like 3 minutes on that fucking game? Yeah,
that's what I want to do, and I want to load 7 times going to each world. Actually, no, it's 7 times twice because you have to go to the world map and then the world.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's
load and get cut down with next gen.
Yeah, it will. But that's
I did want to point out with
go ahead.
Square Enix, it feels like they're being more honest this time. With saying up front, we're not gonna have exclusive games here for a little bit. Because think of how this gen opened, where they're like, here we go, Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 announced in 2013, released end of 2016, start of 2019.
Yep.
And it's like the same thing seems to be happening because, they have a division likely working on Final Fantasy 16. That's the FF14 studio. You've got Luminous Productions, who have been working on a new IP that likely is going to be something you could, if it's going to happen, you'll see a few years from now. They're just not telling you about them yet because it's kind of pointless at this point, especially given how people care about FF7 and stuff like that. There's no real need yet.
I'm sure they're gonna fucking talk about that the moment the PS5's revealed.
I mean, yeah, of course, but I'm gonna pretend they're not going to do that. But I'll make ooking noises as soon as they appear.
The PS5 reveal is just gonna have the new Platinum game. What the Platinum Square
Project GG?
No, the Platinum Square crossover
Oh God.
Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, Babylon's Fall was getting a full blowout for that PS5.
Oh
reveal.
my God, Bob, stop. That's not gonna happen.
It's gonna look
I
great.
hope.
Running on a good frame rate.
I hope the next time we see that game, it doesn't make me sad.
I also hope for that, but I don't expect when we showed the game this time, it was a room and underwhelming. Next time, it's a full game. Thank you, PS5. We could have rendered one whole building without the PS5. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Platinum news.
You'll do a dodge and time will slow down, and then everyone will clap going, they did it. They saved action game.
But check this out. Check this out. When they do that, it'll be ray traced.
Nice.
Oh, good. 10 frames a second.
How did KZ end up with the Platinum news? Oh, well, we're going to KZ for the Platinum news.
I just
had
wrote
time to
it
even
down.
read.
So the Platinum 4 got some updates for people wanted. There was, they had 4 stars on the website. The first one was the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter and the remastered announcement. They revealed that star number 2 is Project GG, which is Hideki Kamiya's newest game. It's going to be the 3rd game in what he calls the Hero Trilogy, which he directed Beautiful Joe 1. He directed Wonderful 101. This is going to be his Ultraman-esque game, because it's a big hero game. It's targeting current-gen platforms, and it's the first Platinum self-published game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this does. Like, I think Ultraman's a really great concept for a video game that hasn't been delivered on.
I kind of wonder what kind of form this is going to take, because, like, Ultraman doesn't fight huge groups of guys, where the other two, like, Beautiful Joe is kind of Kamen Rider inspired, and obviously Wonderful 101 is Power Rangers, and they fight big groups of guys, but Ultraman doesn't. He usually fights one guy at a time, so I'm kind of curious what form this game will take.
I think it'll look like Ant-Man meets Godzilla.
KZ, don't read that headline, please.
Fucking Dan posted it in here a few minutes ago. Don't worry about it. You have to present things in a way that normies can understand.
We could see it be like a boss fights are the giant form, and he fights regular size for random groups, something to that effect.
I'd like that.
You know what I would like? If somebody would just fucking tell me which of these 2 next-gen consoles is going to be the Walking Dead of consoles. These are the terms. These are the terms I need things explained to me in.
Hey Z, what's the 3rd star?
Tell me what Attack on Titan is like, Dan.
Attack on Titan, that's like Japan's fucking The Walking Dead.
Thank you.
Star number 3, which is our Breaking Bad, I guess. I don't know. Star number 3 is Platinum Games Tokyo. It's not a game at all. They're just making a studio in Tokyo.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder.
So that's good. It means that they're not dying the way they were a few years ago.
Right? Like, that's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be sad if they were. They've had a bunch of successes since Microsoft attempted to destroy them in a sad attempt to acquire them.
I lived, bitch.
I
will laugh if they're like, we're targeting all current gen platforms except the Microsoft one.
I mean, guys, Kamiya, back a few months ago when the interview with Gematsu before the Kickstarter happened for Wonderful 101, it's like, yeah, Xbox. No sign of that on the Kickstarter.
I really think he was like, wait, they want how many sales? Are they fine us? Fuck that.
That's fair.
He's like, did you see this game?
I'm interested in why Tokyo. I'm curious what exactly about Tokyo appeals to Platinum to open there.
I mean, I guess there's just so much else there. Maybe it's easy to find talent in that area.
Probably that, and also, my understanding is that Tokyo, the way this is getting into a topic that isn't gaming news, but the way their zoning works is actually so progressive that, like, cost of space in Tokyo has decreased.
I can't relate as a Floridian.
Well, here's my understanding of how it works. if you own property in Tokyo, nobody can tell you what you can do with it at all.
Okay.
So they don't have they don't have nearly as much of a housing problem as any other big city on the planet. They don't have like a space problem as much. Even its population has gone up and cost of space has gone down.
And I'm sure there's plenty of like studios in Tokyo.
There are, and I understand other people moving to Tokyo. I don't understand Platinum moving to Tokyo. I understand they got capital from Tencent, so they might have the money to do it. It just seems...
I guess they just want to be able to have a second studio to make more at once.
Maybe they don't have enough space for their 224 employees.
Right.
Maybe it'll be like, in Platinum Tokyo, you are our mercenary studio, since you're near all the others.
Go talk to Activision again.
So we were thinking, what if we got you to make an action game based on the new hot film Sonic the Hedgehog?
You see, here's how this works. When he spin dashes, time slows down. And what if we gave him a sword again? And then he goes to the null space dimension that looks exactly the same, and we have a bunch of bad minigames.
This all sounds better than the last couple Sonic iterations, so sure. Anything.
Crush 40 will be in.
Okay, cool. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's
Nailed
all
it.
you need. That's all you need. That puts it on par with all the Sonic games that came out recently.
Very excited.
Oh, speaking of Sonic, one of the PlayStation Plus games for March is Sonic Forces, so everyone will get to find out whether or not that game is better than Mario Odyssey.
You'll find out if you have a malignant brain tumor or not. The answer may shock you.
I just...
Also, also part of that March PS Plus thing. The Shadow of the Colossus remake's going to be in it too.
That's cool. That
That's
game
cool.
is incredibly pretty and a great game. Everyone should try it.
Yeah. I didn't buy that, so I'll end up picking that.
Yeah, I'll do that
That
too, because
free
I never
game
bought
up.
it.
Happy I waited.
I'm glad they're finally giving us something.
And then Star 4 is apparently secret.
Ooh.
Yeah, they
secret.
described it as a secret, but it will be interesting.
So not just a video for that game they're making with Babylon's Fall. There we go.
They said that nothing in
Yeah.
this was anything we've seen before.
Ah, good.
Was
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
when we found out about the next game from Kamiya is this Ultraman thing. I think it was Dan had the reaction of, oh well, Bayonetta 3 is the next game he's working on.
Yeah, that was the first fucking thought I had of just, so now some third director gets to make Bayonetta. Because the guy from
Maybe
2's
they have
gone.
good ideas and will push the franchise in a new direction that revitalizes it and makes everybody happier. And maybe angels will come down from heaven and give everybody $100 bills.
Yeah.
You see, Bayonetta must contend with demon dice that put her on a board.
Casey, talk about fucking Resident Evil 3.
Resident Evil 3 Remake has previews out. Bunch of press got to go out there and play like a few hours of it in the multiplayer mode. I just wrote notes for the single player mode, assuming that was safe enough. They've given Jill a special dodge roll, and that if she times it right, it slightly slows down time.
That makes
You
sense.
can easily read it.
The dodge was in the original RE3 too. So this makes sense.
Yeah, but they got this perfect dodge thing, which you will need because Nemesis is some fucked up shit in this game. He can like run at you. He's got the tentacles that pulls you in, his like flamethrower and everything. And this jump that he does that is absurd. Like I have the
He can
GIF,
Hulk
I don't
jump.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that jump and went, do I need to get this game? Do I really? When I saw his dynamic entry from this fucking GIF, like,
I mean, this is a great opportunity to fall in love with Resident Evil 3 for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, having not played 2 or 3, I like that I'm experiencing them through the remakes, because I really, really like 2. And this one looks great. A lot more combat focused.
I'm imagining with the perfect dodges, you're building up some sort of Royal Guard style meter, and then you get to have Jill unleash a ridiculous, powerful punch or something.
Fucking Royal releasing Nemesis.
We better be able to shove him off the rope bridge.
Maybe.
Because that was a thing in the original. Although I think did they say they took out the branching paths from the original?
I didn't see anything about it, so I don't know. They did show like ammo crafting, just like in 2, lock picking. She can like unlock different extra areas. The city is bigger and wider. You can go into like multiple different shops to get supplies and stuff.
Oh, this is going to sound real good.
Yeah, doing their best to like really recreate Raccoon City. And environmental traps. So they have like a bunch of red barrels in the area, or electrical boxes that you can shoot and then take out zombies and go, oh my god, I shot the red barrel. 2 seconds later, Nemesis has appeared. Why did I do it then?
This is sounding closer and closer to Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, a lot of previews I saw went, man, they really are just turning this into Resident Evil 4.
Not good enough until I can roundhouse kick and suplex.
He's right. Perfect dodge suplex.
Do that to Nemesis. Just do it. If you down Nemesis, he'll like drop a bunch of rare items you can use to craft better ammo types and upgrades to your stuff.
Just like the original.
Yep. So, but you know, and that goes hand in hand with their statements of downing him will be almost impossible.
I'm gonna be honest. I misread your news note, and I thought it said drowning Nemesis, and I was like, excuse me, what? I get another game? I get another opportunity.
Drowned.
No, Nemesis drowned.
All right.
Well, yeah, you suplex him into the ocean.
All right, we're gonna need some form of that.
Jill dropping a fucking house on him, a cage, and just shoving him into the ocean.
And she yells, I'm a member of STARS.
When I heard some descriptions from people who went out to the previews, where one of them said, yeah, they got the spider enemies back, and like if they grab you, they'll just dunk a bunch of baby spiders down your throat. And I went, I don't know if I can buy this game. I don't know if I can buy it. This might be a little too much. Then one of the sewer monsters where it grabs you with its mouth and then snaps her in half backward.
Awesome.
All the notes about this game is it looks like Resident Evil 2, but with much better lighting, so it looks even better. Also, we got the director, who is Kyuhiko Sakata, who worked on the PS1 titles and was at Platinum for a bit, which explains why we have Witch Time.
It's not like a disease you catch if you work at Platinum, Casey.
What if it is?
Then that's good. I like Vanquish.
She just yells, slow.
Her attitude in this remake seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple of cutscenes where she's like getting directions from Carlos. He makes this slide joke to her, and she's like, fuck off.
Great.
I'm so tired of this zombie shit.
Bob.
Yeah.
Bob.
Uh-huh.
Bob.
In shovelware news,
No.
Yes.
Samurai Jack battled through time.
Is this an armchair death bitch?
Maybe.
I wish.
It totally is.
It's a 3D hack and slash game made by, how do you say that? Soleil?
Soleil.
Soleil, yeah.
Who are former Team Ninja devs. It's like some weird thing where they joined the thing Itagaki was making with Valhalla Studios and then branched off
And then
from that.
and then they noped out of there. Yeah.
Which means you can't tell whether or not they were involved with Devil's Third. It's a mystery.
They made the incredible Naruto 2 Boruto Shinobi Striker games, which are shovelware.
It's one game.
It's just one game. It's just
I thought
one
there was
game.
like 3.
No, it's one game.
It's a MOBA-esque game that has modes like Capture the Flag.
This is armchair devs.
Yeah, no, that game is the most armchair devs game ever.
It absolutely was. Where they're like, we finished making the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. Bamco's like, where do we go next? You create your own ninja. You get team-based, Capture the Flag, and other MOBA stuff. You can do wall combat.
This is
that
bad,
game looks
Bob.
bad.
The positive side to this,
Okay. thank you.
everything bad about that game is basically all around this multiplayer nonsense that they put in, and it seemed almost like Namco forced them to. The actual feel of playing the characters isn't bad. So them working on a single player
I tried a demo
game makes me a lot more excited. Like, I want to believe this could be good.
I looked at that footage. It looked okay.
Yeah, the trailer for it looked all right. I'm somewhat hopeful. Apparently, the head writer, Derek Bachman, is writing the game.
The head writer of the show.
That's cool.
So if he's writing the game, that has me interested. I like Samurai Jack.
We'll get to see more by the time you get to hear this.
Yeah. So we'll get more info.
Might change the way you listen to this segment. Maybe, I don't know.
Did at any point in the trailer did someone talk about a foolish samurai? Did we get any of that? Any foolish samurai?
I can't
lines?
remember.
How the fuck can't you remember?
There was not a foolish samurai part, but Jack did go, gotta get back to the past. And Aku went, rated T for teen.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
You guys think that it'll be like hey, how do you say the creator's name?
Gendy Tartakovsky.
It's just Gendy. He's like, hey Gendy, we
Either
saw this
Gendy or
ending you
Gendy.
wrote 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Gurren Lagann, this anime that came out. Do you think we should change that 15 years in the future, making the ending? Nah.
I thought this was leading into you being like, do you think Aku orders a pizza and asks for extra thick crust?
One of the unofficial account related to Samurai Jack already made that joke.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
I thought you were going to go with, hey, Gendy, are you going to do something like that scene in your other show, Symbiotic Titan, where the girl shows her ass for a minute and a half?
I never watched that show.
Me neither, but someone keeps posting the clip, and I'm like, I'm having trouble imagining that being in that show I didn't watch.
That's the only episode of that show I've seen. It was like, what is this?
Now, this, no matter how this game controls, instant 10 out of 10. If there's a secret character you can pick, if you beat everything, get 100%, you unlock the dude from Primal.
That would be hilarious.
And it just becomes like, oh, the game is now rated M.
Exactly. I'm like, that dude's breaking bones out here.
Yeah, did Primal ever come out?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I really hope that this game is good, and it's like the Scotsman is just your Virgil.
Oh man, I forgot about the Scotsman and how they could put him in.
Yes, it did, Bob. I mean, Dan and Bob, it did. It aired in October of last year.
Oh, weird.
Yeah?
No one talked about
What
it
was
at
it
all.
on?
Oh.
It was on Adult Swim, I guess.
It was on cable television.
Yeah,
but-
Adult Swim.
Why,
The
yeah.
place you hide anything you don't want people to watch, like that new FLCL.
Correct.
Man, they haven't even... Oh! We didn't discuss this! We should at least mention this, because I think we mentioned the fractal shell companies of Gainax last week.
Yes, we did
Scala
mention that
at
before.
Gynax.
Yeah, Scala at Gynax.
Apparently Kara and Trigger dual clotheslined Gainax and now just own them.
Thank God. There's so much junk locked up. Like, they're the reason that they were able to steal FLCL and make more of that
Yep.
without anyone's authorization.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
So hey,
Ooh.
maybe we'll get Panty and Stocking season 2 now.
That'd be neat.
I don't even want that, but
Yeah, Bob doesn't want that. I know a lot of people who do.
but yeah, that clearly.
I don't want it, but do it anyway. Come on, do something.
Well, maybe we'll get it now.
Right?
Exactly. And that's great.
Also, none of that FLCL shit is even getting releases, I don't think.
They get DVD releases. No Blu-rays.
Look, listen, but we need a win. People aren't going to buy this shit on Blu-ray.
We need a win.
I tuned out on those FLCL sequels when I saw a screen cap of 4 different girls in bunny outfits, all with guitars, and I'm like, I'm done. Goodbye. I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, they clearly.
In less depressing news, 2Q Games, Kazutaka Kodaka, that's the Danganronpa guy, his new game was revealed with a cinematic trailer. It's called Tribe 9. It is an extreme anime baseball game.
Okay.
The trailer features like somebody throwing a baseball and it murdering 18 people and someone catching it with a cyber glove.
Dan, did they make Battlefield Baseball into a game?
They
and,
might have.
not tell anybody.
That's unfortunate.
It might be a mobile game. We don't know what platforms it's on. I'm terrified it's a mobile game because whenever you see a really cool cinematic trailer, it's like, wow, this would be a fucking fantastic game. I'm really interested. And it's like, iOS, Android. I'm like, fuck. Why'd you bother? You're not going to trick me.
Into a pachinko game.
But I heard something like, no, these people who only do console games are involved with it, so it must be a real game. Also, the Danganronpa artist is on it, so expect lots of A posing.
Oh.
But it's a really cool trailer. Look up the Tribe 9 trailer if you're interested. Good Old Games, they are the competitor to Steam. They focus on older games, although I don't know how much they do that anymore. I kind of think they got a lot of them. But they have a refund policy now. They didn't have a refund policy. 30 days, even if you've launched or played it. I don't think there's a time limit. Because I don't think they can track that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
no, there's no time limit.
Yeah, because they don't have you can just they're DRM free. You can just download the client.
That seems really, really good.
It is good. We got another minor wave of not as big as the one when Steam announced theirs. I don't know if you guys recall Kotaku posting indie devs being insane.
Posting indie devs that don't have success saying that this ruined them.
Not even that it ruined them, it was all them panicking like, I make small narrative experiences, everyone's gonna buy my game and refund. And I was like, no, they're not. They'd have to buy your game first. Step 1 isn't happening. The guy who made Dusk, the boomer shooter that came out recently, like in the past couple of years.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I was worried too, and then it turned out that people aren't sociopaths and don't do that, so it's fine. And I'm like, yeah. People don't sit there and like, I'm gonna buy this game and rush through it in 2 hours and then refund it. Like, people,
I mean, those people
don't do
exist,
that.
but they're a minority. Like,
They're such a colossal minority, and in both Steam and Good Old Games are like, yeah, if we feel like you're abusing this, we're just gonna take it away from you.
yeah, I mean, I working retail, I do see people like that, but it's definitely a minority. Like,
Plus, you can find them pretty easily.
right? Like, okay, this is the third time. What are you doing, man?
The third time in 2 weeks.
Someone's really indecisive about the game.
Because I've refunded like 6 games on Steam since that thing started, and they're not one after the other after the other after the other. So Steam has never given me any shit about it.
Yeah, no, I've had to refund a few things on there, but they were very much like not things I would have wanted to play ever again. Like, I played less than an hour and was like, this is bad.
Yeah. This this is barely gaming news, but it's so funny I have to bring it up. So Mac has a new $5,000 desktop. For $4,000, you can get wheels on it. For $400, you can get wheels on it. They can't lock.
Well,
What do you mean wheels?
$400
on the bottom of the desktop. Like imagine a computer tower and there's wheels on the bottom of the tower. They can't lock.
I saw that the wheels you were talking about because you posted the video of this. Those wheels are like they shouldn't be worth more than $20.
$400.
$400.
Now-
Well, okay, guys.
Those look like them cat shoes you can walk to Lowe's and get.
Guys, can you calm down? You're just assuming you have to buy all 4 wheels. They're $100 each.
How true.
When you put this in the notes, I didn't know what the fuck this meant. So I thought you were referencing that one dude who reviews like real locks.
No. I mean, if you put it on your desk and you bump it, it's going to fly off your desk and explode.
If you work in an office that isn't level, like this video I am now posting, it will just roll away.
Those are big wheels. Oh my god.
This is really dire. This is worse than usual, guys.
It is worse than usual.
Apple is a cartoon company.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the sad part is they're somewhat more competent than many other tech companies.
Yes. Once again, Google May Stadia. They are much larger clowns than Apple because they went out of their way to make Stadia. At the moment this news comes up, this shows up in my Twitter feed.
Wedge Pro.
The Wedge Pro. You only need to buy 1 wedge per wheel. Only $999.
Only $999 per wheel.
That's fucking nuts.
So Suda51, maker of No More Heroes,
Weird shit.
he's writing a sequel DLC to the new Fire Pro Wrestling game. It is a sequel to the storyline from the I think the Super Nintendo Fire Pro Wrestling game where your guy kills himself. Which was the first thing he ever wrote in the game industry. So he's writing a sequel where the guy's son becomes a wrestler.
Nice.
It's a very Suda move. And we got Baldur's Gate 3 footage. Baldur's Gate 3, the Dungeons & Dragons game being made by Larian Studios, the same company who made Divinity Original Sin 2, a very excellent game. It looks a lot like Divinity Original Sin 2. It's turn-based. Thank fucking God. I am vindicated. I'm like the only person on Earth who wants these tabletop-based games to be turn-based.
Why would you want to take time deciding something in a tabletop RPG like game?
That sounds less modern feel.
Why would I want it to more closely emulate the game that it's based on?
Disgusting.
It's called being archaic.
Yeah, it's crusty, it's old. It needs to be a rhythm game.
There's no voiced protagonist. That meme is dead. Thank God. Let it be dead forever, please, in every Western RPG that has a custom character, at least.
When you don't have to worry about having to voice 8,000 lines, you can make 16,000 lines.
Yeah, it literally lets you have double the voiced lines for NPCs. The conversation animations look real bad. Like, I don't know how familiar any of you guys actually are with BioWare games.
I've played
Very
a lot
little.
of them, unfortunately, but never more than an hour each.
They have the same stilted animations that BioWare characters have, like when they're standing and making small movements.
Is it like Bethesda Fallout stuff when you talk to them? Where it's just
It's
them
more
standing
like
and then just
Sonic Man
laughing?
from Sonic 06, you know?
Oh my god, that's the best. He's like, hey.
And then his arms are flailing.
It's all zoomed out, but it like goes into like almost shot reverse shot when you talk to an NPC, it seems like.
We're going Xavier Renegade Angel here, then. That's what it sounds like to me.
And I don't know if these are just super early, but I hope they are, because man, they have a very powerful Dragon Age 2 energy.
Ooh.
But it looks good. Looks a hell of a lot better than any BioWare game ever looked. Visually. Like the models are nice and not horrifying.
Well, that's good.
And in fighting game news, Waifu the Blood Edge, aka Narmea, the first Grand Blue Fantasy Versus DLC character, launches March 3rd, the same day as the game does in the West. Also, it will be on Steam March 13th.
Yeah, that trailer looked good.
She looks incredibly, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, Cygames knows what they're doing.
Got to see that gif once again of her pulling out her sword that strangely looks like she's caressing your dick.
I think when she wins, she gets down on her knees and like sits down and is like, come rest on my lap.
God.
This is ridiculous.
What a fucking video game, man. They're going to make so much money.
Well, she is, like I said this a couple months ago. When they did like, okay, we're doing increased pull rates for the really horny fallen angel guy who says, welcome to the den of hedonism in English when you have him set as the main guy when you load the game. They made like $100 million in a weekend. I'm sorry. It was 10 million because it was 1 billion yen for JPEGs.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they definitely know exactly what people want.
How much?
All you have to do is look up the draft DRAPH race and look at the girls in that race. You're like, wow, Cygames, you're so enlightened.
Your brain's so big, bro.
Yes.
KZ, you have one last bit of news here.
Put in Eustace, he's raw.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's one more piece of news. It came, I think, like a day after Big Thing. Last week, wrapped up. Jason Schreier posted that another Star Wars game was silently murdered in the back last year. And I have the timeline up here where initially, years ago, they showed at E3 that Visceral Star Wars game looked interesting. They were pegging it as like a heist Uncharted-esque game because Amy Hennig was on there. Exciting. They canceled it because they're like, no one buys AAA single-player linear games. And then they took all of the art assets and stuff and gave it to EA Vancouver to make their own game. And that turned out to be a big open world style game that codenamed Orca. That got canceled in 2018 after a year of work. And they said, all right, we're not going to make you stop making Star Wars games. You'll work together with Criterion to make a game. And it was going to be a Star Wars Battlefront spin-off that's story-based. And that has been canceled, ending the trend of the corpse that was the game they announced like 5 years ago.
How are things so bad over at EA?
Mildly related, or possibly related, I guess is the other thing. We talked about a while how it was the rumor that a fairly credible rumor that they were bringing back Knights of the Old Republic as a game.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they announced yesterday that the big new story era for Star Wars will be Star Wars The High Republic.
Yes.
Set hundreds of years before the original trilogy, and they have flat out said it is not connected to any other thing. Not even the Old Republic. It's after that.
Yeah, I looked into that actually, like a lot of it. And it's very interesting because it's not at all how they've been doing these movies where they went, all right, we figured it out. It's a couple of 100 years before episode 1. We got in multiple of our best novel writers to all come in and plan out this universe. And I'm like, oh man, you're doing planning and shit. This is weird.
Yeah, right now it's only novels and comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, but if they're building a game in that'd make a lot of sense.
So they wanted to do that to give all the creators a bit more freedom in what they can actually do with it.
Did you guys know that with the decanoning of all the extended universe shit, they changed where red lightsaber crystals came from?
No.
They used to just be crystals, like you dig them up like any other crystal. Now, Sith put all their edgy emo energy into a normal crystal until it starts to bleed and turns red.
It's so raw.
Okay.
That's stupid as hell.
What are you talking about? It sounds raw.
Just make Jarek canon. Get it over with.
Just imagine Kylo Ren with his crystal being like, nobody likes me. Why don't people like me? I'm so big. I work out all the
Yeah, but he
time."
was so angry. That's why his lightsaber's like out of control.
Isn't that just because he sucks shit at building a lightsaber?
I just like to think that it's bleeding so much that it fucking popped a crystal blood vessel.
Let's be real. Nobody knows why it's like that because J.J. Abrams just thought it was raw.
I can respect that.
So can I.
Hey, look, we're out of news.
Whoa.
Which means I can escape the Star Wars. Thank God.
Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? You don't want to talk about Star Wars, Dan?
Nope, it's not December.
I enjoy talking about Star Wars. Maybe you're a little jaded. I don't know why.
The words Jedi, some fan you are. Anyway.
I prefer Force user.
Coming up in the next week, we've got stuff. I don't know. Don't push me. I've got a wedding to deal with this weekend. Maybe we'll do a cool stream. We did 3 in the last week. I don't know. We'll see. That's it.
Oh, I've got some videos that are still coming out on the daily, alternating between a couple things. Trails of Cold Steel, the Fire Emblem DLC, and the Kingdom Hearts Marathon's still going. Just working my way through that. It's been going pretty well so far. Maybe I can get Field to get into it besides just fucking back cover. He literally messaged me, tell me when back cover comes in. Like, can you get into something that isn't 45 minutes and a soul vacuum?
It's tradition now. I feel like somehow I know that logically we've only seen it twice together, but it feels like it's been like 8 times.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The future of Kingdom Hearts hurts.
I know hurt, Bob.
By the time you hear this, I will definitely be streaming Super Danganronpa 2 on Wednesdays and Sundays, and on Fridays I'll do something. I don't know if it'll be the same game or some other thing that I want to fuck around with.
The game will become more of a crackhead.
Surely nobody in 2 has the crackhead energy of Gex Maniac, Genocider Jill.
Okay, I'm going to end this podcast with this. Why is this trending on Twitter? Somebody has made the
God.
anti-Birdie. It is Birdie
shit.
Sanders to put through a negative filter. Twitter is a very special place.
Oh, fuck. It's like Mr. Negative from the Spider-Man game.
It is like that, and he doesn't ask for anything.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future.
This video was brought to you by the power of the legendary GigaBoots executive producers: Vincent Pover, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Red Blaze 27, and Texas Man joins Smash. Thank you for lending us your power, our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become powerful like our executive producers, then head on over to www.patreon.com/gigaboots today.